What up, Space Fam? Goes in here from AnimeUproar, back at it again with another One Piece video. The response on the Yonko vid was awesome, so I figured I'd go on and do a video about all of the Shichibukai, aka Warlords of the Sea, and their powers explained. Although they are currently disbanded, we're going over all of the former members. If you enjoy seeing One Piece videos on this channel and want to keep them coming, the best thing you can do is smash that like button and share this video with a friend. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe, and this is crucial, hit that notification bell or else you will miss future One Piece videos. As usual, manga spoilers are fair game in these videos. You've been warned. Now without further ado, let's jump into it. The idea behind those 7 warlords of the sea is that pirates would become privateers working for the world government. That used to happen historically with pirates, where it was not uncommon for them to switch back and forth between pirate and privateer for a specific nation. In One Piece, they were one of the 3 great powers, along with the Yonko and the Marine headquarters, that kept the world in balance. It was a pretty fun organization since the pirates were allied with the government on paper, but they didn't tend to care or respect the government that much. Rather than being loyal puppets of the government, most of these pirates joined because it served their own purposes at the time. The warlords also didn't get along especially well with one another either, and most wouldn't make a habit of helping each other. Now let's jump to one of my favorite characters in the entire series, Dracule Mihawk. Mihawk holds the title of being the greatest swordsman in the world. He is 41 years old before the time skip and 43 years old after the time skip. When Zoro, a legend himself, first fought Mihawk, Mihawk didn't even use his real sword, saying, and I quote, "I'm not the kind of fool who hunts rabbits with a cannon," end quote. He used the smallest knife he had against Zoro's 3 swords and completely outclassed him. Still though, Mihawk respected Zoro's bravery and did him the honor of defeating him with his actual sword. Mihawk can easily destroy huge ships with his sword or even giant icebergs. He's so strong that some people think he has a devil fruit power, but so far it's been suggested that all of his power comes from his natural abilities. Mihawk hasn't been harmed during the series, even though he participated in the battle at Marineford, where many of the strongest fighters in the series were present. He showed up because he wanted to, and I quote, "measure the true distance between that man and us," end quote. He wanted to see how strong Whitebeard, known as the strongest man in the world, truly was in person. Another extremely hype fact about Mihawk is that he used to be Yonko Shanks' rival. They used to have duels, but Mihawk stopped fighting Shanks after the Yonko lost his arm. According to Mihawk, he doesn't challenge one-armed has-beens. The debate rages on about who's stronger, but Mihawk strongly implies here that he could beat the Yonko one-on-one now, and no one present tries to argue with him, not Shanks or his crew members. We know from his conversation with Zoro that Mihawk's big talk can be backed up, and he even implied back then that he has the ability to sense who would win in a fight without fighting. Thus, it's totally possible to argue that Mihawk is stronger than Shanks one-on-one, but Shanks is more dangerous because of his skilled crew. There's also a reason he's called Dracule Mihawk. His vision is amazing and he can easily track a faraway and fast-moving Luffy in the middle of an extremely busy battlefield at Marineford. He shows how quick he is too here, since it takes him practically no time to close the distance and get to Luffy. Mihawk trained Zoro for 2 years in swordsmanship during the time skip, but Zoro admits that he's still nowhere near Mihawk's level. Mihawk can use observation haki and armament haki. He teaches Zoro how to infuse his swords with haki so that they don't break. In fact, Mihawk tells him that every nick on a sword is a mark of shame. It's also hype AF that Mihawk's slash is referred to the world's most powerful sword slash. Usually, you'd expect a sword to be a worse weapon than a gun, because it can't reach far. However, Mihawk never has trouble blocking bullets, and his air slashes can reach further and are way more destructive than bullets. Lastly, as you might expect, Mihawk has great mental strength to match his physical strength. Not only did he never seem to be affected by strong haki, and could always withstand Shanks' immense haki as far as we can tell, he also never seemed affected by Boa Hancock's charms, even though most men are. I could always talk about Mihawk some more, but since this isn't just a Mihawk video, let's now move on to the next warlord, Pirate Empress Boa Hancock. Boa is the captain of the Kuja Pirates, and arguably best girl in One Piece. She's the current Empress of Amazon Lily. Boa is 29 years old before the time skip and 31 years old after, but that doesn't stop her from falling in love with our considerably younger protagonist, Luffy. She possesses the Mero Mero no Mi, aka the Love Love fruit. Boa can turn people who love her or lust after her into stone. It's not that difficult either because her level of beauty is legendary. She can also turn her victims back to normal too. If a person is feeling no lust or cannot see her, then Boa's powers won't work on them. It is also possible for people to force their lust out of their mind using pain. For instance, Vice Admiral Momonga stabbed his hand and this kept him from being affected. Luffy is immune to her powers because of his pure heart, something he has in common with Goku from Dragon Ball. It seems that people with strong willpower can resist her too, like Mihawk, Crocodile, and Smoker. Interestingly enough, Boa can turn things she touches into stone, so the power is not just lust-based. She uses this ability in conjunction with her impressive hand-to-hand combat skills in order to instantly turn parts of people's bodies into stone and then break them off with her powerful kicks. She even uses this ability to beat multiple non-human pacifistas who are notoriously tough. Like Luffy, Boa can even use all three types of Haki, including Observation Haki, Armament Haki, and the rare Conqueror's Haki. It's noteworthy that Boa uses her big snake Salome in battle. It has served as Boa's personal throne, elevator, and tracker. Salome cares deeply about Boa and assists her in any way it can. What a good pet snake. Next, let's look at the 39-year-old Buggy the Clown. This legend almost needs no introduction, but let me mention that he was an apprentice along with Yonko Shanks on Pirate King Gold D. Rogers' crew. He's also the captain of the Buggy Pirates. He possesses the Bara Bara no Mi, aka the Chop Chop fruit. Buggy's fruit makes him immune to cutting or piercing attacks. You gotta hit him with blunt blows, like when Luffy kicked him in the groin. His body can split up into many different parts, all of which he can control as long as they stay in his effective area. The parts can levitate except for his feet. As Luffy illustrated, a drawback of the power is that all of the separate parts will feel pain, so if you capture one part, you can do a lot of damage to Buggy. Another crazy fact is that Buggy's levitating body parts can even lift much larger people like Jinbei and fly around with them. Although blades have no effect on him, Buggy likes using them against his opponents. He's even had some hidden in his shoes before. Like a true pirate, Buggy uses cannonballs called Buggy Balls in battle, along with hand grenades called Muggy Balls. It's worth noting that Buggy is the natural enemy of sword users, since even the strongest swordsmen, like Zoro and Mihawk, can't cut him. Next up, let's look at the 35-year-old Edward Weevil, aka Whitebeard Jr. He is the self-proclaimed son of Whitebeard and his mustache is definitely familiar. This dude is a monster in his own right. He took out 16 former Whitebeard captains and their crews. It's common for Weevil to blow a town off the map over an argument. In one case, there were 600 estimated casualties. Borsalino, an OP dude himself, praises Weevil, calling him tremendously powerful. He compares him to the real Whitebeard in his youth in terms of strength, which is a huge compliment. Whitebeard was known as the strongest man in the world after all. Weevil even wields a Naginata, which was Whitebeard's weapon of choice too. In a One Piece data book, it was revealed that Weevil can use Armament Haki and Observation Haki. Weevil has no known Devil Fruit to speak of, but he had the highest known former bounty of all the Warlords, 480 million berries, which is insane to think about. Of course, now, former Warlord and current Yonko Blackbeard has a bigger bounty of well over 2 billion berries. Weevil hasn't had a huge role yet in the story, but he's definitely one of the wild cards that I'm excited to see more of in the future. He has reasons to hate Blackbeard after what he did to Whitebeard, so he may somehow even end up helping Luffy down the line against the genius Yonko. Speaking of the genius Yonko, let's talk about the 40-year-old Blackbeard next. This dude is easily one of the most interesting characters in the series, and that's not a coincidence. The historical Blackbeard was probably the most famous pirate ever, and you can bet that Oda would give that notorious name to a deserving character. Marshall D. Teach is an antagonist you can't help but respect. The dude has exercised insane patience and cunning in order to carry out his master plans. He waited decades for the Dark Fruit and managed to convince everyone that he wasn't ambitious during all that time, even though he's arguably the most ambitious dude in the series. He became a warlord just so he could break powerful individuals out of prison and get them to join his crew. His actions led to the battle at Marineford, and Blackbeard used the battle to steal Whitebeard's OP Devil Fruit after the two warring sides had all but destroyed each other. What a scary dude he is. He went on to defeat Marco the Phoenix and the rest of Whitebeard's men that were present at the Grudge War. It was after this major battle that Blackbeard was first included among the list of the 4 emperors. He is now the only man to possess 2 devil fruits at once, and they happen to be 2 of the most powerful devil fruits in One Piece. According to Blackbeard, the Yami Yami no Mi, aka Dark Fruit, is said to be the most dangerous power in the history of all devil fruits. It's a Logia, it lets Blackbeard create and manipulate darkness, he can suck things into his darkness and compress the objects with immense power and crush them. He did this with a town and then released all of the wreckage. He explains to Ace that his darkness sucks in everything, so he can't avoid physical attacks like other Logia users. However, his fruit can pull in the bodies of Devil Fruit users, and to use Blackbeard's own words, he can absorb the power of the Devil Fruits. When he was touching Ace, Ace couldn't use his Devil Fruit powers and Blackbeard could deliver a powerful blow. As we know, he stole the Gura Gura no Mi, aka the Tremor fruit, from Whitebeard. Blackbeard called it the power of the earthquake that destroys everything. After he got it, he proclaimed himself to be invincible and the greatest. The Tremor fruit is considered to be the strongest paramecia fruit. It allows the user to create vibrations and shockwaves that can travel through almost anything, including air, ground, and water. It has been used to create massive earthquakes and tsunamis. Whitebeard used the power to take down part of the Navy headquarters and to create a huge chasm in order to split up the warring sides during the battle at Marineford. Now this crazy power is in Blackbeard's hands. According to a One Piece databook, Blackbeard can use both observation haki and armament haki. Besides that, he seems to possess a superhuman body. Marco calls his body odd and says that maybe that explains why he's able to possess 2 devil fruits at once. It's also been said that he doesn't sleep and he's taking close attacks, including from Whitebeard, that would have killed or seriously injured other men, and he's always bounced back relatively quickly. He's definitely a force to be reckoned with. He's arguably the most dangerous Yonko, and when he proclaimed that his era was beginning, those clearly weren't empty words. Next, let's look at the 26-year-old Trafalgar Law, aka the Surgeon of Death. He's the captain and doctor of the Heart Pirates and an all-around cool dude. He became a warlord during the time skip, but it was revoked when he teamed up with Luffy and helped him take down Doflamingo. He possesses the Ope Ope no Mi, aka the Op fruit. He can create a sphere around him, and as Smoker points out, everyone inside the sphere is a helpless patient on Law's operating table. He reigns supreme within that space and is able to spatially manipulate what's in it. In the space, he can effortlessly split ships in half, split people in half, stop bullets, take people's hearts, and so on. He has telekinetic-like powers that let him move objects or teleport them by switching the locations of different objects with each other. He can also create electrical surges, and these shocks can be strong enough to take down opponents. The Op fruit user can perform a personality switching surgery, which allows him to swap people's souls. And in the hands of a skilled enough user, the fruit can apparently give eternal life through the immortality operation. The user would lose their life though after giving someone else eternal life. Because of this latter ability, it's been called the ultimate devil fruit. After the time skip, Law's ability covers a much larger area, suggesting that the area of his Matrix room could continue to grow as he matures. The fruit is perfect for a doctor since it can be used to cure illnesses. It can practically extract anything from the human body, and Law used it to cure himself of the amber lead poisoning inside his body, which was originally supposed to kill him by the age of 13. In addition to his devil fruit, Law is a skilled swordsman, and he often uses his sword in conjunction with his devil fruit powers. He also possesses armament haki and observation haki. Next, let's look at the 46-year-old Jinbei, who longs for equality between humans and fishmen. It's amazing that Luffy was lucky enough to get this OP fishman to join his crew. Jinbei used to be the second captain of the Sun Pirates. He fought on equal terms with Ace, who had the help of an awesome Logia power, and even a Yonko like Big Mom knew she was losing a lot of power when he said he was leaving the Big Mom Pirates. Jinbei has great willpower and bravery. Big Mom couldn't use her powers to take his lifespan because he didn't feel the tiniest bit of fear. His response was also epic. He said, and I quote, "A man who would be crewmate of the future king of pirates cannot afford to tremble in the presence of a mere emperor." You can't help but respect someone who talks like that in front of Big Mom. Jinbei was placed in level 6 of Impel Down, the lowest level, where the most dangerous inmates are placed when he refused to fight Whitebeard. Inmates on this level are usually all given the death sentence or a life sentence and are often erased from history. However, Jinbei was given a temporary sentence. Clearly though, his power is well respected if they felt like they had to put him on level 6. Jinbei survived attacks from some of the strongest characters in the series like Akainu and Big Mom. As a fishman, his capabilities are increased further in the water. He is a master of fishman karate and even became a black belt as a child. Jinbei even knows how to use the secret fishman karate art, Buraikan or vagabond drill, that sent the Yonko Big Mom flying back off of their ship. As if he wasn't great enough already, he can also communicate with animals of the sea. For instance, he can give precise orders that whale sharks will follow. He is a skilled user of armament hockey and observation hockey. All in all, having Jinbei join Luffy's crew was an extremely exciting development for me, and I hope to see much more of him in the future. Next, let's look at the cool and intelligent 46-year-old Desert King Sir Crocodile. He was the president of Baroque Works and the main antagonist of the Alabasta arc. He was also Jinbei's Impel Down level 6 neighbor, which shows how dangerous and powerful he is. He lost the Warlord title after he attempted to take over Alabasta. With Luffy's help, he escaped from Impel Down and participated in the battle at Marineford, after which him and his man Das Bones pieced out to the New World. Although Luffy beat Crocodile eventually, he had significant help from Nico Robin, who saved him multiple times. If not for her, Luffy would not have succeeded. It's also unfortunate for Crocodile that something as common as blood nullified his Logia fruit defenses. So yeah, Luffy beat him relatively early on, but that doesn't mean we should underestimate his power. During the battle at Marineford, he had encounters with Doflamingo, Mihawk, and even Akainu, and survived just fine. He even talked down to Mihawk, the strongest swordsman in the world, after stopping his slash with his hook. Crocodile said he was in a bad mood, and then warned the strongest swordsman to watch himself. What a frickin' boss. Let's take a closer look at his devil fruit power, the Suna Suna no Mi, aka the Sand fruit. As the name suggests, the fruit allows Crocodile to turn into sand and control any sand around him. He can reflexively turn into sand, and so he was fine when Doflamingo suddenly tried to take off his head during the battle at Marineford. In the past, he has created quicksand and sandstorms. Crocodile can also absorb the moisture of anything he grabs. He can dehydrate people and plants and turn rocks and solid earth into sand, although the ability won't work on metallic things. Crocodile can create sharp blades out of sand and use them to fight. When wet, Crocodile's sand hardens and can't disperse at will, so that is his weakness. However, if he makes sure to absorb the liquid in his opponent first, then there's no problem. Crocodile can use his Logia fruit to fly by turning his lower body into sand, and he's obviously more powerful in a desert area where he has a lot of sand to work with. All in all, Crocodile is a force to be reckoned with because of his mastery over his devil fruit and because of his intelligence. I'm really glad that they brought him back after Alabasta because he's proven to be a very cool character, and maybe he'll help Luffy and his crew again in the future. Next up, we have the fashionably dressed 41-year-old Donquixote Doflamingo, the former captain of the Don Quixote Pirates and former king of Dressrosa. In addition to being a former warlord, he was also a former world noble and a former underworld broker under the very cool codename Joker. Doflamingo is so strong that Law, a warlord himself with an OP devil fruit power, knows that he needs to conserve all of the strength he can for Doflamingo. Doflamingo also has no problem overpowering a skilled Logia user like Vice Admiral Smoker. He even appeared to effortlessly overpower fellow warlord Gecko Moria after the battle at Marineford, calling him too weak to be a warlord, although he did also have a bunch of pacifistas present helping him. Nonetheless, it speaks to his strength that he was the one entrusted to take out Moria. Doflamingo's influence was great. If he, as a warlord, declared someone to be a subordinate, their past crimes would be overlooked and they could no longer be arrested by the government, as was the case with Caesar Clown. He could pull the strings needed, pun intended, to falsify the newspapers. Because he knows about Marie Joise's national treasure, he could blackmail the Celestial Dragons in the past in order to exercise some of those insane Celestial Dragon privileges like commanding CP0. Now, let's look at his Ito Ito no Mi, aka String Fruit. The devil fruit power lets him create and control strings. He can use these strings to control people as if they were puppets, or to slice things up. The strings can be so thin that they're invisible to the human eye, making them even more difficult to avoid. Interestingly enough, he can attach his strings to clouds and use them to seemingly fly over the sea, kind of like Spider-Man uses buildings and his Spidey strings to fly around New York. Doflamingo can perform a kind of emergency surgery on himself, where he uses his strings to rapidly reconstruct his organs. This is how he continued to fight even after Law gave him a blow that should have taken him out. Doflamingo is so skilled that he has awakened his devil fruit, which lets him turn surrounding objects like buildings into string. He also has an ultimate technique that creates a large bird cage of strings around a vast area. He can make the cage close in and cut everything in its way. It will disappear if Doflamingo loses consciousness, but if you're Buggy the Clown with your splitting powers, you could probably just run through the strings and peace out. In regards to Haki, Doflamingo is one of the few individuals who possesses all three kinds, including Observation Haki, Armament Haki, and Conqueror's Haki. He can even infuse his strings with Haki to get Logia users. And that's it for the snazzy dresser. Let's move on to the guy he tried to eliminate, the 50-year-old Gecko Moria, captain of the thriller Bark Pirates. Moria used to be the captain of the Gecko Pirates, but most of them were eliminated when they clashed with Kaido. As a result, Moria wants revenge. And it's pretty cool that someone after fighting Kaido is still brave enough to want to beat him. In fact, some people in the world of One Piece believe that Moria was, at least at one point, tough enough to go toe-to-toe against Kaido. Obviously, we can't verify exactly how accurate that statement is, but the point is we shouldn't be sleeping on Moria's power. Yes, Doflamingo cornered him with some pacifistas after the battle at Marineford, but even then he managed to escape. And now Doflamingo is on the 6th level of Impel Down, while Moria is still free as far as we know. Blackbeard even invited Moria to join his crew, and Blackbeard usually only wants the best, so that's another testament to Moria's power. Moria may well team up with Blackbeard if it means getting revenge on Kaido. Now let's get into Moria's devil fruit, the Kage no Mi, aka the Shadow Fruit. The Shadow Fruit allows Moria to stick people's shadows into different bodies. He can stick them into dead bodies in order to create zombies. His own shadow is called Doppelman, and he can use it to fight for him. The Doppelman can take any shape. It can even break up into many different shadow bats. A Doppelman is amazing in that it cannot be destroyed and will simply reform again and again. Moria can trade places with his shadow when he's in trouble or when it's simply convenient. When Moria steals someone's shadow, their real body will disintegrate if they come into contact with direct sunlight. So you can really inconvenience someone or even kill them by stealing their shadow. But if they die, their shadow will vanish too. Moria can also take the shadows into himself to increase his size and strength. He's taken 1,000 shadows into himself before, although he couldn't maintain that extremely powerful form for long. Moria uses giant scissors as weapons. They can split apart and be used as swords, or they can be used to cut off people's shadows during battle. I expect to see this vampire zombie looking dude again, and he really may even pop up in Wano to help defeat Kaido. Next up, we have the 47-year-old Bartholomew Kuma. This guy was everything, a king of the Sorbet Kingdom, a revolutionary, a warlord, a cyborg, and so on. Since his final pacifista modifications, it seems that he is a complete slave of the world government. He possesses the Nikyu no Mi, aka the Pawpaw Fruit. As a result, he can push or deflect anything. He can push things, people, or even pain. He can fire a pad cannon, which is stronger than an actual cannon. He deflects air pressure at light speed. The attack leaves paw prints in stone, and can even bring down Frankie's metallic body. He can also create a giant bomb by compressing the air around him. This power is crazy in the sense that he can push people and send them flying to a desired destination that could require days to reach. Then, as if that wasn't enough, there are his pacifista modifications to talk about. The modifications enhance his power but also robbed him of his free will. As a cyborg, he no longer feels pain. He can shoot laser beams from his mouth, which can melt steel and cause explosions. He also carries around a Bible. The other pacifistas made in his image do not possess his devil fruit powers and do not hold a Bible. And that is it for the Warlords. The title of Warlord is a thing of the past in One Piece, but a lot of cool, powerful characters possessed the title in the past, and I thought it would be cool to go over them and their interesting powers. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more like it, make sure to smash that like button to let me know. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe, and this is crucial. Hit that notification bell or you will miss future One Piece videos. Let me know in the comments if you want to see the Straw Hats next, the Admirals, or whatever other category you're itching to see. A special thank you goes to our patrons over on Patreon who help us survive YouTube issues and who help make videos like this one possible. First and foremost, I want to thank our the 1-tier patrons, the ones who stand atop all clans: Steven Ingrata, Alola Natem, The World, Steelers, The School Bus, Tyson Quarino, A Quiet Respect, and Pate Hefa. And I can't forget our Pro Hero tier patrons, the one and only Gilgamesh, Nothing But a Fan, Jason Wilson, Odin, Anatoly Kazatsky, Alpha Dio, Angel Cruz, Team Sparky 65, Rohan Kapoor, Cricket XP, $50 Beat, Ted No Ted, Jalter, Joe Stanton, Very Gucci, Jessica K. LaFond, Emperor Otaku, and JCC Waka. Thank you all so much. If you enjoy our work, you can support more of it by going over to patreon.com/AnimeUproar and becoming a patron today for as little as $1. If you do so, you'll get your name featured in future videos alongside these amazing people right here, and you'll even get access to our private patron-only Discord, where we talk about anime life and, of course, dank memes. So check out patreon.com/AnimeUproar, link in the description if you're interested. You can also now join the YouTube channel and support more content that way if you prefer. Whichever way you choose to support us, you can get the same great benefits. Thanks again, and until next time, see you, Space Cowboys.